what are the specific applications where you might find a hermetic? So keep in mind, first of all, that whole idea of you trying to keep a fluid, a gas, a pressure differential on one side and not let it get through to the other. So that's really going to lead you to where you'll find the opportunities. Sensing is a big one. Think of all types of sensing. It may be that you need a hermetic for your sensor if you're in a very, very harsh environment, or it might be that the requirement for getting the most precise reading of whatever you're trying to measure and report back on. So you're using your glass to metal seal to isolate perfectly that thing that you're trying to measure. So think about gas analyzers, as I mentioned earlier. Pressure sensors is a huge area. You'll find pressure sensors in lots of different places, whether it be downhole in oil and gas, whether it be around the systems on an aircraft. A lot of the time, monitoring that critical equipment is working in the way that it should be. Similar thing with temperature sensors and vibration sensors. So vibration sensors you'll find to be a good high volume but very price competitive market for hermetic connectors and sensor headers. But where you find vibration sensors is anywhere where you've got condition monitoring, preventative maintenance of equipment in industrial applications. When it comes to commercial aerospace, think about your fuel systems. Again, anywhere where you've got that aggressive aviation fuel, so particularly level monitoring systems, so monitoring how much fuel there is, just like you have in your car, that's going on in an aircraft as well. So anything around the fuel systems, anything around the actuation systems, so where you have the pressure differentials through an actuation systems, controlling the flight controls, you will find hermetics around there as part of those systems. Proximity sensors. So anything that's trying to make sure that something on an aircraft is where it should be. So landing gear or alignment on wings, or we have some titanium hermetics that go as part of door sensors to make sure that all the doors on an aircraft are shut when they should be. Going across to space, obviously lots of interesting developments in space and going to be increasing developments there. You will find hermetics anywhere where you're trying to pass your electrical signal or power through in a situation where you've got the pressure differentials. So hermetics great for dealing with the pressure differentials in space. But also think about the cryogenic situation up there. So we've talked about how a hermetic can deal with very high temperatures, but it can also deal with very, very low temperatures. So, for example, we have just supplied some 38999 glass-sealed hermetics for a company that's involved in some new satellites going up for weather monitoring. So you've got some sensitive instrumentation that's going up for weather monitoring. That needs to be calibrated down on the ground. The team who are doing that need to create a cryogenic environment in which to calibrate the equipment. And to do that, they need connectors that can survive down to minus 170 degrees C. So high temp, low temp as well. Medical, so medical autoclaves that you've got for sterilizing equipment. You'll find hermetics there that are dealing with the high temperatures. And then back down to the other end of temperature again on medical imaging systems, you particularly MRI scanners, you have these cold heads where you've got cryogenic temperatures, and again, you need a hermetic connector there. Subsea, energy, oil and gas, any of you who deal in these sectors will know that when times are good in those sectors, they're very, very good, and when they're bad, they're very, very bad. And obviously we're in a bit of a tough time with these sectors now, but when you do find the opportunities there, they can be really valuable ones, and you do find particularly a lot of hermetics in these areas. So obviously subsea, you're trying to keep that seawater out of whatever you're doing, and also you're dealing with high pressures down there. So you'll often have, where you've got very expensive equipment on the seabed, you'll need monitoring equipment that's making sure that those subsea assets are okay and they're doing what they should be doing. You can have acoustic leak detection systems, ROV applications. Simona's going to take you through a case study in a little bit about hermetics on ROVs, and subsea cable terminations. This is where you see things like the booted hermetic. In oil and gas, downhole tools where you've got high pressures and high temperatures downhole, you'll find hermetics. At wellheads where you need fire breaks to protect people in case of any catastrophic failure, you'll find a hermetic. And also in logging equipment, and so we have coax hermetics that are taking back data about strata mapping when there's exploration going on, or coax hermetics going on the side of fuel pipes that is part of the flow monitoring systems on oil pipes. So lots and lots of opportunity in the area of subsea energy and oil and gas.